Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Tallywags Wellness World podcast. My name is Sister Liz, and I run the vet nursing facility at Tallywags, South Africa's first and currently only indoor play park and vet nursing facility combination in South Africa. Today, we're going to talk about something a bit icky. Well, you might think they are, but I think they're fascinating, and perhaps you might think so after hearing this. Today, I'm talking about worms. It's not the common garden variety that does such a great job in the soil. I'm talking about the parasitic ones with monstrous heads and rows of teeth that can cause serious illness in our dogs and cats. Admittedly, they pose a serious threat to many mammals, and for the most part, we are repulsed by them. There are also countless resources about what they are and how to kill them. But I want to focus on the fascinating adaptations that help them to thrive despite our best efforts to destroy them. So before we delve into their cunning little life hacks, you might be surprised to learn that your pets are almost never uninhabited by worms in various stages of development. Ooh, I can feel the tension. Hear me out before you get too mad. Deworming tablets are designed to kill these parasites in the digestive tract, and they're only effective as such for a few hours, whereafter they're metabolized and eliminated. Worm eggs and larvae spend a portion of their life cycle in the environment, which usually means the soil outside. If your pet, dog or cat has any contact with the ground outside and they lick themselves or groom themselves, it is likely that they are ingesting parasites regularly. So here's another kicker that may make your skin crawl a little. Some worm species have a dormant stage in the form of a cyst, which infects organs or muscles. These can erupt when the worm feels that the host is too sick to carry them anymore, or when the host becomes pregnant and the opportunity to infect all of her babies arises. So why, I hear you ask, do cysts form in the first place? And this is where your own pet's cunning life hacks come into play. A strong immune system will halt larval development, thereby forcing larvae into dormancy in the body, and they will then wait until the immune system is weakened or the animal becomes pregnant. Okay, so I think we are clear that nature wants to persist at all costs. Let's look at the specific adaptations of the different types of worms that infect our dogs in South Africa. They are tapeworm, roundworm, hookworm, and whipworm. There are a few different types of tapeworms that affect our dogs. They all require intermediate hosts to complete their life cycles, and those can be fleas, lice, rodents, livestock, and even humans. Let's focus on the most common tapeworm in dogs, those transmitted by fleas. Picture this: adults with segmented bodies of about 60 centimeters long. They attach to the intestinal wall of your pet with a head-like arrangement full of suckers and teeth. However, no mouth, no digestive system. In fact, the outer layer of the worm is uncannily like the intestinal wall itself. Millions of finger-like projections to increase the surface area, and resistant to being destroyed by gastric acids. The worm has stolen the blueprint of your pet's digestive system to achieve the same result, i.e., absorbing nutrients. A channel directs waste to the last segment, which breaks off. Each segment has both male and female reproductive organs, so that by the time the last segment is ready to break off, it contains fertilized eggs, a complex nervous system with sensory structures, and muscles so that it can move around once it leaves your dog's butt. So while the tapeworm is having an identity crisis as a mini small intestine and absorbing nutrients through its skin, The roundworm actually consumes partially digested food in the small intestine. How do you eat and stay attached to the intestine, you may ask? Well, by having a triangular mouth with 3 lips, of course. The most common roundworm to infect dogs can also have accidental hosts, like small mammals, insects, even humans. Once the eggs have been ingested from the environment, they develop into larvae that migrate from the small intestine through to the blood, liver, lungs, trachea, coughed up, swallowed back down into the intestine to develop into adulthood. In pregnant dogs, the larva can migrate through the placenta or to the mammary glands, and remembering that dormant encysted larva can be activated to do the same. So even the most healthy mother dog can unwittingly infect her babies. The symptoms of roundworm infection in puppies may be something you've seen before. That distended potbelly look can be due to physical presence of the worms and the blockage that they cause in the intestine, inflammation of the gut, and also the buildup of gases because the worms interfere with the normal digestive process of the puppy. Let's move on to the next worm that infects your dog, hookworms. Eggs ingested from the environment, but the larva can actually burrow through the skin of their toes, causing something called creeping eruption and itchy skin on the toes or the ventral surface where the dogs have been in contact with the soil. The burrowing larvae have a migrational path, which is blood, lungs, trachea, coughed up again and swallowed into the small intestine. But unlike the first 2 species that we talked about, hookworm derives nutrition by actively feeding on your dog's blood. They do this by burrowing into the intestinal wall with a fantastic mouth full of teeth. So with 3 rows of razor-sharp hook-like teeth, the hookworm burrows into the small intestine and detach and reattach frequently. This is to avoid an immune response from the host and also, surprisingly, to avoid too much damage at a single site. How considerate of them! However, this behavior leads to tiny spots of intestinal bleeding in the small intestine. So one of the signs of hookworm infection is that dark, tarry feces, which is actually digested blood. The last worm we're going to discuss is the whipworm. 1/4 of it looks like a whip handle. It's the thicker end with the digestive tract and reproductive organs. 3/4 of it, however, is the thin whip that, with the help of a mouth spear, embeds its full length into the intestinal wall. And like hookworm, feeds on blood and tissue fluid, but so as not to compete with hookworm, lives in the large intestine. Clever. So now we know about the incredible adaptations of these creatures that enable them to survive and even thrive and reproduce in the harsh environment that is your dog's gut. I think the point of understanding them on this level illustrates that worm infections are a constant threat. Parts of their life cycle can block up intestines or infect vital organs with cysts. Another take-home is that healthy dogs do have a way of fighting back. But the fight is real, and deworming should be done once every 3 months in adult dogs. Heavy infections in puppies can be treated weekly according to manufacturer's instructions. But deworm we must. May you all be early birds. Goodbye.